In this video, I'm going to be looking at voluntourism. What is voluntourism? Well, it's a portmanteau, a combination of volunteering and tourism. Wearing defines volunteer tourists as the tourists who, for various reasons, volunteer in an organized way to undertake holidays that might involve aiding or alleviating the material poverty of some groups in society, the restoration of certain environments, or research into aspects of society or environment.
I'm in the middle of nowhere. Actually, I'm in the middle of Cambodia. I'm about 30 kilometers southwest of Phnom Penh. What am I doing here, you might ask? I'm being a voluntourist. What's a voluntourist, you might ask? Voluntourist is a combination of being a tourist and being a volunteer. So, hence the mix of the words, voluntourist. So, this is an increasingly common phenomena, especially in developed countries, where typically young people, often backpackers, will come and donate some of their time to an altruistic cause to help or try to help the local community, for the better. And it's been quite controversial. There's positives and negatives of this. What I'm doing is, behind me there's a shipping container that we're going to turn into a classroom, and part of the job is to paint it and make it look attractive. So it's plain white now, and over the next few days we'll paint a beautiful mural into it. So voluntourism, some of the common things in voluntourism is backpackers might come and teach English for a couple of hours, and then a day for a certain period of time, and then for the rest of the time they might they'll do their usual sightseeing and backpacker type things, which may or may not include responsible behavior. So my voluntourism experience is I've come to Cambodia. It's a very popular place for voluntourism. I've come with my university, and we're painting the shed. It's halfway done now, and which is going to be used as a classroom. Now, at first you might think voluntourism is a positive thing, where people are traveling for different purposes to help the local community. It's come under a fair bit of criticism for such things like exploitation, or just enhancing the backpackers, often their backpackers, CV, to say, oh yeah, tick the box, I have done some service work, some volunteering in a developing country. Now, with a lot of tourism, it's not necessarily the tourism per se, or the type of tourism per se that is the problem, it's how it's done. And so volunteerism ranges from skilled, where the volunteer has very specific skills, to unskilled. So I'm not a painter. More or less anybody can paint a shipping container, but some are skilled. So the argument for having a skilled person is capacity building. The person's coming from overseas, they're importing this speciality, this expertise, and maybe they're not training up the local community. Here we're putting on some solar panels on top of the classroom to create electricity. What happens if the solar panels break? Is there someone in the local community that can fix them or replace them, or does it just stop working? So that's like one of the issues. Another one is dependency. So when you get people from often from developed countries coming to developing countries, they can be seen as sort of if you like, Santa Claus, coming and giving free gifts and helping solving problems, maybe giving money as well. And so it creates some sort of dependency and some sort of strange image or perception of often Western people. So there's those issues. There's issues of that has made the media, and this is, say, in Cambodia, where orphanages have been set up and the kids aren't really orphans. They're sort of dragged out of school and led to form for those. It's a business, so someone's making money out of it. So that's another problem. So I've mentioned dependency. I've mentioned that some volunteerists are not qualified to do their jobs. So often if they come and teach English, they haven't done an English as a second language course, and so they're not really qualified, bringing into question some of the quality of the actual volunteering. Also in Cambodia, we hear of stories that some schools that require teachers do not do a proper background check. It allows the possibility of abuses. So while some people are altruistic, wanting to come and volunteer, others are more sinister. And so there's been in the media, there's been reports that some sex offenders and people are preying on children. The other problem with dealing with the children is the children are quite affectionate for a short period of time with these people, and then the volunteerists go back home after, if they only stay a short time. And if they only stay a short time, kids are often going through different contacts, or many contacts with a lot of different people, and showing this affection that they're used to. Some organisations that accept volunteerists are not doing the proper background checks, and that means they're open to abuses by people that have sinister motives. And there's been cases in the media highlighted where there's been sex offenders dealing with children, which is just horrible. And so both the host organisation and the intermediary, those that are placing volunteers, need to be thoroughly accountable to the public, to the authorities, and to make sure that they're doing the right thing, that they have the proper processes in place, that they have proper governance and proper accounting procedures. So for unskilled volunteer projects, the problem is that often tourists don't want to do these. They're not seen as very glamorous. They want to go to the destination country and deal with the locals, play with the kids, and maybe educate them, teach them something. So by painting a building or building a house and not having that much interaction is more like hard work rather than voluntourism, where their emphasis is on the tourism part rather than the volunteering part. So that there's a wide spectrum of volunteerists.
Rather than voluntourism is good or voluntourism is bad, a more holistic approach is outlined here by McGehee, which looks at the social movement theory model. It has aspects of society and the voluntourism network and resource mobilization, as well as attributes related to the volunteerists themselves, such as their participation, their consciousness of the experience, and their self-efficacy. If you want to know more about that, check that paper out.